Keep going through this season. Do not mistake a season for your future. Keep going through this current season that you're in. Do not mistake the season that you're in for your future. Thank you so much for tuning back into another video of Mind Sanctuary Space. And by the end of this video, I hope that you're encouraged to know that you should not be discouraged, whatever season of life that you're in. Don't be discouraged. Don't be afraid. Know that it's a season. It's a season. It's a season. It is a season. It's just a season. Keep going. If you're in turmoil, it's just a season. And if you're joyful and you're happy and you scared it's gonna come and end it all, it's just a season. It sounds crazy, but we're gonna get to it. It's just a season. What if the season that you're trying to escape is actually the season that's preparing you for everything that you've been praying for? Okay, and so in the book of Ecclesiastes, especially Ecclesiastes, I want to say chapter 3, we learn that there's a season for everything under the sun. There's a season for everything. Okay. And the difficult season that you're going through right now is not permanent, they're purposeful. And then also, if you're experiencing a great season, just know that is not to scare you, but just know that there we do have times of our lives when things are high and things are low. Just like how in Genesis, when Joseph interpreted the dream about the famine, the 7 years that they were going to be plentiful, and then the 7 years of the famine. And so there are seasons of highs, seasons of lows. But when you're in your high season, I'm not saying prepare for a downfall, but just know that things are not always going to be on the up and up. Just know that. And that comes with maturity. A lot of times people, bad things happen to them, or not even, I don't want to say bad things happen to them. Things happen in life that's not as positive, that's not as easy and breezy. Things are challenging, and then they take it as their life is doomed or this is the end of the world. In life, there are ups and there are downs. It's a season. We have to, when we understand that about life, then I think that we won't beat ourselves up so much when we go through those dry spells. Because when you go through those dry spells, you got to give God praise and thanks to know that it's just a season, and that on the other side of it, you're going to get back high up. I want to get right into Ecclesiastes chapter 3. This is the NLT version too. For everything, there's a season, a time for every activity under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to harvest. Right? I'm going to skip down a couple of verses to verse 4. A time to cry and a time to laugh. So let's talk about it. You're experiencing success, you're experiencing uh, accomplishments, right? Those are times that you laugh. There's a time that you laugh, but then there's a time that you laugh. But then again, at the same time, you could be experiencing a heartbreak, and you could be experiencing loss, and then you could be experiencing struggles. That's a time to cry. So in life, no matter what year we're in, no matter what age you are, life comes with a time to cry and a time to laugh, a time to grieve and a time to dance. Same thing. A time to scatter stones and a time to gather stones, a time to embrace and a time to turn away. A time to scatter stones. That sounds like when you excuse me. To me, I see it like when you have resources that you are able to give away, right? And then a time to gather stones, right? A time to embrace, a time to turn away. The time to scatter stones, that reminds me of in Genesis when Joseph allowed Egypt to save up in the storehouses grain, and he gave it out to the people that needed the grain for food because they were suffering a famine. And then a time to gather stones, well, it's time to save, a time to embrace, a time to turn away. So again, here's the thing. There's a time when you can be amongst people, amongst situations to where you're embracing, you're happy. But then a time to turn away, well, you may be isolated. You may not have nobody by your side. So it's a time and a season for everything. Let's keep going. A time to search, a time to quit searching. People with a job. You're on a job hunt. You don't know how long that season is going to last. But then on the other end of it, you're going to quit searching because God blessed you with that job. Okay? A time to keep, a time to throw away, a time to tear, and a time to mend, a time to be quiet, and a time to speak. That reminds me of being still, a time to be quiet. Sometimes God has you in a place to where you're not in the position to open your mouth and speak. When I say that, I mean, in the example that I'm giving, when you have some things inside of you that you want to share, God may be causing you to just hold off just a minute, because when it is time to speak, then it will be the right time, and it will be in alignment with wherever you are, whoever you're with, and just your purpose at that time when it's time to speak. Because sometimes you may be speaking and it's not your time to do it. It may not be in alignment with your purpose to be speaking. A time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. Think about when you have turmoil with people, and then think about when relationships are reconciled. Okay, a time for war, a time for peace, a time for love, a time to hate. So, and then the last one I want to, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to be born and a time to die. So, in life, you just think about what you're going through, what you're suffering from: betrayal, misunderstanding, neglect, grief, loss, abandonment, whatever it is. It's just a season. It's just a season. But just know that there is something great on the other side of it. And we don't dictate how long those seasons are. But when you get close to God, He will help you get through those seasons. And then when you are in the season to heal, right? When you're in a season of building up, when you're in a season of laughing, of dancing, when you're in a season of gathering stones, when you're in a season that you quit searching, when you're in a season where you're mending and when you can speak, make sure that all of those things are done with Christ at the center and at the root. That's how you can, though, that's why when you're in those seasons, it will be anointed, so that when the opposite of those seasons, when those dry seasons come around, you will at least be in a place to where you're already so close with God, He's going to carry you through those dry seasons. Imagine if you don't have Christ and you are going through the up and up seasons, and then when everything flips around and then you're on the down and the low, you don't have Christ with you. Those dry seasons are going to feel like your future. It's going to feel like your future. It's going to feel like this is it. It's going to feel like the end of the world. And that is not the truth. It's just a season. And if you know Christ, if you know His word, then you will know that this is not going to be forever, especially when you have a relationship with Christ. And then when you also have a relationship with Christ, when you're going through those dry seasons, you know that what His will is what's best. When you're down and out and when you're struggling to get things done, you're struggling to make things happen, you can't get that call back, you can't get that approval, you can't get that person to answer the phone, whatever it may be, you can't finish that project, whatever it may be. When you have Christ with you, God will allow you to have a level of peace about the situation that you're going through. And you will allow Him to work in that low season, allow Him to work so that He can pull you out and bring you back up into another high season. So I just want to encourage you with that. God bless you. Thank you so much for watching this video. And I hope you're inspired by this message. Please like the video, share it, and also subscribe to my sanctuary space. Thank you so much.